everybody. Welcome to Sunday Basic Sunday, Strat-O-Matic Basic. So one day of the week we go basic. And we are at the 1962 season. That's the season I chose to do this with. And today we are at Fenway Park in Boston for the Cleveland Indians against the Boston Red Sox. On the mound for the Red Sox is right-hander Don Schwal. And on the mound for the Cleveland Indians is right-hander Dick Donovan. There you see the starting lineups for each team. So we'll keep it basic as possible. There's your basic dice, nothing fancy. And we'll start out. Ty Klein will lead things off for the Tribe. I'll get a little bit closer if I can in the early innings before I need more space. See if I can get a little closer here so you can see the cards and the dice better, hopefully. Of course, when I run out of room, then I'll have to move it back. I don't know if there's too much light here. Might be better off without that extra light. I think I'm better off without that overhead light. So here we go. Ty Klein and Don Schwal. And I'm only going to roll the D20 when it's necessary. We have 312 for Klein, and that's a line out to second plus injury, but I'm not doing injuries on this. We're going to keep it status quo. So he lines out to second base, and that is snagged over there by Schilling. And that'll bring up Tito Francona. I believe he's the father of Terry Francona. We get a 6-8 left-hand. Well, it doesn't matter about lefty. 6-8 is going to be a walk based on balls by Shaw. His first walk. Francona not much for base stealing. And now we have left fielder Chuck Esegian. I'm assuming it's pronounced Esegian and not Esegian. I'm going to guess it's Esegian. If anybody knows for sure, let me know. But I'm guessing it's Esegian. 5-7. That's a ground ball. Second base X. Bring in the X chart for the first time. At second base, we have Schilling. He's a 2. So we're right here in this column. 2 column. And we get a 14. 2 and a 14 is out with no runners on base 4. If no runners are forced, runners whole. With 1 or more runners forced, batter is safe. Run on first out, going to second. So basically, it is a fielder's choice. 4-6. They get the lead runner. New runner at first is Esegian. He's definitely no threat to run. And that'll bring up Willie Kirkland, the right fielder, for the Tribe. 5-9, and that's a strikeout for Shaw. Or Schwal. I keep wanting to call him Shaw, but I think it's pronounced, but the W's got to be in there somewhere, I would think. So I would think it's Schwal, but, hey. These were before I was born, so I don't know. I'll defer to anybody that knows for sure. All right, bottom of the first, Dick Donovan is on the mound. And Pete Runnels will lead things off for the Boston Red Sox. Pete Runnels, first baseman, 5'11", ground ball to first, speaking of first baseman. And that's going to be Francona. Francona is a 4, not very good. So right here, lots of things could happen in that area. We get a 1. That's going to be a single. Base hit for Pete Runnels. He sneaks it past Francona. Leadoff man is on, and here comes Chuck Schilling, second baseman. Get a 2-7 for Schilling, and that's a single 1-14. 15-20, he lines out. So that is a single, 1 star. First and second, nobody out. Red Sox have something cooking in the first for Gary Geiger, center fielder. We got a 1-6 for Geiger, and that's a walk. All of a sudden, the bases are loaded, nobody out. And Donovan in deep doo-doo because here comes Carl Yastrzemski with the bases loaded and nobody out. Cleveland playing the infield back. They'll try to run to get 2 outs on a double play if they can get it. 4-5. That's a fly ball center field B, so it will be a sacrifice fly to center field. Scoring is Runnels, and it's 1-0 Red Sox. Give the RBI to Yastrzemski. 1-0 Red Sox here in the bottom of the first for Frank Malzone. Malzone playing third base in this one. 1-6 for Malzone. That's going to be a solid single. Everybody will move up 90 feet. With only one out, they will hold everybody where they are. Bases loaded. One out for Russ Nixon, the catcher. Again, the infield is back for the double play. A double play would end the inning. 1-3, and it's a pop out to first. There's a plus injury, but like I said, in the top of the first, we're not doing injuries. But it's a pop out to first, and that keeps everybody on their base. And now it's up to Carroll Hardy, right fielder. That's a 2-7 for Hardy, and he grounds to short to end the inning. So all in all, Donovan gets by pretty easily with just allowing the one run. Could have been a lot worse. We go to the second. It's Boston 1, Cleveland 0. And I must admit, I really don't know anything about these teams. I mean, there's a few players I recognize, obviously, but most of them I don't. I did look at the team records, and Cleveland was 80-82. Boston was 76-84. So pretty even matchup record-wise. Here's John Romano. 410 for Romano's. Fly ball center field X. So we're going to the outfielder. Center field for Boston is Geiger, and Geiger is a 2. So we're in the column for the 2 for the outfielder. He needs to avoid a 3 and a 15. Otherwise, he should be decent shape. That's a 4. So 4 is an out 4. That's all they need. And he makes the play, 1 away. So Romano is out of there, and that brings up shortstop Woody Held. Woody Held, the shortstop, is up next. 2-11 for Held, and he's going to ground it to short. Easy play by the shortstop, Bressoud. Bressoud, I think it's Bressoud. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. A couple of these guys I really don't know how it's pronounced. Here's Bubba Phillips. I know how he's pronounced. Everybody knows Bubba. 4-8. That's a walk. Everybody in their lifetime probably has met a Bubba or two. I know I have. I've even been related to some Bubbas. All right, so Kendall, the second baseman, is up now. Kendall, the second baseman. That's a 5-5, and that's going to be a fly to right field. That will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the second. And the score is still 1-0 Red Sox. And now the shortstop, Eddie Bressoud. 6-6, and that's going to be a double 1-11, single 12-20. That's a double, leadoff double for Bressoud. And that'll send up the pitcher, Don Schwal. He's using pitcher hitting card number 2. He will swing away. 5-4, and that is a catcher X. So we're going to the catcher X. Cleveland's catcher Romano is a 3. So we're in this category. He's a 3. 3 and a 13 is a foul out. So escaped the pass balls and everything, got the foul out. Out number 1, and Pete Runnels back up. Singleton scored, first time up. 4-6, he's going to fly it to left. 2 away. For Chuck Schilling. Sorry, I'm not using my headset. I'm using the mic on the webcam, so it does not have a pause button. So I can't, stop the cough when it comes. Here's Schilling. 1-8 for Schilling. He struck him out, and that's the end of the inning. We go to the third, still 1-0. And using pitcher hitting card number 6 is going to be Dick Donovan. 5-9, and that's going to be a strikeout. That is the second strikeout recorded for Schwal. Brings up Ty Klein, center fielder. He lined to second base to start the game. 3-7, and 3-7 is going to be a ground ball to third. Easy play for Malzone. He takes care of that. 2 up, 2 down, and here comes Tito Francona. I'm trying not to call him Terry. Tito Francona walked his first time up. 110, and that's a ground ball right back to Schwal. Easy 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the third. Still a 1-0 lead for the Boston Red Sox. Gary Geiger steps in. Geiger walked his first time up. 1-5, and he'll get a single on a 1-14. Well, that's a 17, however, so he lines it to second base. And there to grab it is Mr. Kendall. 1 away, and here comes Yaz. Sacrifice fly his first time. 5-3, and it's a ground ball. Pitcher X. Donovan is a 3. He is a 3. I'm sorry, he's a 4 pitcher. I was looking the wrong way. He is a 4 on his pitcher card. So we're looking in column 4. That's a 10. 4 and a 10 is a 1-base error. 1-base error on Donovan. So Yastrzemski will reach on the E1. And that'll bring up Malzone. Five, 6 for Malzone. Donovan 5-6 is a triple 1-2, single anything else. So that's a base hit, 2 stars. It's going to put runners on the corners with only 1 out for Russ Nixon. Again, Cleveland playing for the double play. Double play would get them out of the inning. That's a 4-8, and that's a strikeout, a big strikeout for Donovan. And that is his second strikeout of the game. It was a big one. Now Carroll Hardy in a clutch situation, trying to bring home another run for the Red Sox. 2-6, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 3 for Donovan. So Donovan gets in trouble, but gets out of it. Some of his own doing with his own error, but he gets out of it. We go to the 4th. Still 1-0. Brave of the Red Sox and Chuck Asegian. Left fielder steps to the plate. We had a 2-7, and he hit a ground ball to short. Right there waiting for it is Broussard. He throws to first, 1 away. And here's Mr. Kirkland. One 3 for Kirkland. He draws a walk. And that's the 3rd walk issued by Schwal. Now, Kirkland is a B stealer, so let's check out his prowess as a B stealer. He would be a 1-13, but then the catcher is Nixon, who's a 4, and a 4-rated catcher. And I don't have it in front of me like I'm supposed to have. Now I do. Okay. So let's get back to the basic rules here for a base stealer. And a catcher who is rated a 4 is a -1. -1. So it's a 1-12 if he wants to try to steal. It'll be a 60% chance. The way their offense is going, they need to generate something. So he's going to try it 1-12. He's safe. And he's in there. Stolen base for Kirkland. He steals second, so he's in scoring position with 1 out for John Romano, the catcher. So gamble pays off. Romano 2-7. He'll walk. 4th walk issued by Schwal. And now here's Woody Held. 1st and 2nd, 1 out. 2-6. And another walk. Bases are loaded. Bases are loaded for Bubba Phillips. Red Sox playing back for a double play, which would get them out of the inning, but Schwal's got to put the ball across the plate. He's walked 5 base runners already, and we're just in the 4th inning. So here's Phillips. 110, and that's a ground ball pitcher A, and they'll get out of it. 1 to 4 to 3 double play. And Schwal pitches himself into the mess and pitches himself out of the mess. Double play takes care of business. We go to the bottom of the 4th, still 1-0. Wasn't pretty, but he got it done. And now coming up for the Red Sox, it'll be Eddie Brousseau. Maybe it's Brousseau. Maybe the D is silent. I don't know. Maybe it's Bressaud. I don't know. I'm just going to call him Brousseau for simplicity's sake. We get a 5-7, and that's going to be a ground ball, second base X. Bring back the X chart. Second baseman is Mr. Kendall, and he is a 2 at second base in the second column. 2. That's a 4. 2 and a 4 is an out 3. Doesn't matter about the out 3. Nobody's on base. Just a 4 to 3 ground out. 1 down, and that brings up the pitcher Schwal. Six-2, that's a ground ball to first. And that is handled easily by Francona. Takes to the bag himself. 2 up, 2 down for Pete Runnels. 5-11, and that's a ground ball first base X. Now we're going back to Francona, but this time on the X chart, where he is a 4. So that could be problematic. 4 to 13 is going to be an out, though. He makes the play. I'm going to call it 3-1 since it's on the X chart. But bottom line is it's an out, and the inning's over. So we go to the 5th, still 1-0 in favor of the Red Sox. Due up is Jerry Kendall to start the 5th. Kendall, followed by Donovan and Klein. 3-7 for Kendall, and he grounds it to third. Easy play for Malzone, 1 down, and using pitch hitting card number 6 is Donovan. Struck out his first chance. 1-10, and he grounds it to short. 2 easy outs there to start the 5th, and here is Ty Klein, center fielder. He has lined out and grounded to third. 4-8, and that is yet another walk issued by Schwal. His 6th walk of the game. And that'll bring up Francona. 6-2 is a ground ball right back to Schwal to end the inning. And that'll do it for the Tribe. They come away with nothing. Schwal has managed to pitch around his 6 walks. Not sure how he's doing it, but he's doing it. Here's Chuck Schilling to lead off for the Red Sox. Bottom 5. 5-12. Ground. That's a pop-up to short, my bad. Pop-up to short. And that is going to be easily taken by Woody Held. 1 away for Gary Geiger. 2-12 for Geiger. Ground ball to second. Again, I'm not doing the injuries in this particular subset of games, so we're not going to worry about injuries. And here is Yaz. Sacrifice fly in the first, reached on the error in the third. 5-6, and that's going to be a 1-2 triple. 3-20 is a single. And it's a 2-out single for Carl Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski's on with 2 outs, and here is Malzone. Malzone, third baseman. He is 2 for 2, 2 singles. 4-6, and he's going to fly it to left, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing there. We're moving along pretty decently now. We're in the top of the 6th. It's a 1-0 game still in favor of the Red Sox. And Chuck Asegian will lead things off. I have to back this up 1 extra notch. Here we go. Chuck Asegian stepping up. We can also move this over here just a tad. That'll help a little bit too, I think. All right, so Asegian steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2. 1-6, and that's the first hit of the game. There goes the no-hitter. 1 to 10 is a double. 11 to 20 is a single. That is going to be a solid double for Chuck Asegian, and there goes the no-hitter. There were 6 walks but no hits until now. And now Cleveland has a tying run on second base with nobody out for Willie Kirkland. 5-6, and that's a strikeout for Schwal. And that is his 3rd strikeout. He's got a weird line, 3 strikeouts and 6 walks and 1 hit. Very strange. Here's John Romano. 5-9, and that is another strikeout. So all of a sudden he's coming back with a vengeance with these strikeouts. 4th strikeout. And now it's the leadoff double still at second base with 2 outs. Clutch situation for Woody Held. 6-10, ground ball shortstop X. That is going to be Brousseau. He is a 3. That's an 18. 3 and an 18 is roll 20-sided die again. A 2. 3 and a 2 is going to be a single with a 2 there. Runners advance 2 bases, so that's an RBI single, and that's going to tie the ball game. So in the end, ironically, as it was, Schwal's 6 walks didn't cost him a run, but the 2 hits he allowed has cost him a run. And it's 1-1 ball game. Very odd. Here's Bubba Phillips. 210 for Phillips. That's a double on a 1-6, single on a 7-20. That's a 6. It'll be a double, but it's a 2-star double. So the runner cannot score from first. He has to stop at third, Woody Held. But now it's second and third, 2 outs. And the number 8 hitter, Jerry Kendall, is at the plate. You could walk. They're going to walk him intentionally with first base open and pitch to Donovan. I know it's scary. That's the 7th walk issued for Shaw, and you're in danger of walking in a run. But to get a chance to face the pitcher, I think you kind of have to take that route. So here is Donovan with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He is using pitch reading card number 6. That's a 6-8, and that's a walk. He walks in a run. So there's the danger. And stepped right into it. That's the 8th walk. And the Red Sox fall behind now, 2-1. 8 walks for Don Schwal. He is set to hit 4th next inning. They're trying to get him through this inning. Here's Ty Klein. 3-9 for Klein. He grounds to second to end the inning. But 2 runs come in. That's going to probably do it for Schwal. I just don't see how you can go any further when you're walking 8 guys. But we'll see. 8 go to the plate for Cleveland, and 2 of them score. We go to the bottom of the 6th. And up for the Red Sox is catcher Russ Nixon. In order to get to Schwal, though, somebody's got to reach. 3-3, and that's a ground ball to second, 1 away. Of course, you could always, substitute the pitcher and do a double switch and not have to worry about it. Here's Carroll Hardy. That's a 2-3 for Hardy, and that is a ground ball to short. 2 down, and here's Eddie Brousseau. .611, that's a fly ball right field X. So we're going to our outfield. Right fielder for Cleveland, Kirkland, is a 2. So we're in the 2 column here on the outfield. He's got to avoid the 3 and the 15 for sure. That's a 20. That's an out 5, and that'll do it. 1, 2, 3 inning. And we go to the top of the 7th. Still a 2-1 ball game. Let's go to the Red Sox bullpen, because they're going to go to the bullpen. They might just go for a 1-inning guy, but none of their relievers really are 1-inning guys. So I think there's going to be a double switch made. So let's see who they can put in that might be useful. I'd love to put Pumpsie Green in at shortstop, but he's a 5 rated shortstop, and I just can't play with a 5 rated shortstop. We're going to put Lou Clinton in right field. So Lou Clinton is going to bat in the number 9 position. So Clinton comes in and plays right field here in the 7th inning, and he will bat 9th. So he bats 9th. That was in the 7th inning. And the new pitcher is going to be in Hardy's spot. So we'll see who the new pitcher is. So coming out of the game is going to be Hardy. He will leave the game. Hardy has departed. And so now we need a pitcher. And the pitcher they're going to choose is going to be Chet Nichols. Chet Nichols. All right, let's get the numbers on Schwal. He goes 6 innings. He gives up 3 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. He walked 8 and struck out 4. And now Nichols is in. And one moment, it's a call I have to take. Yeah. Yeah, you leaving early? Good. Oh, good. Got all the windows open, getting all the fresh air. Yeah. I see that very well. She's upstairs and you know about it. She's sitting over there. I already bought some at Walmart. The mini ice cream. You can get it over the weekend if you want. No, I'm gonna worry about tonight. I've already got ice cream. Good. I know I was working it out. Hold on. God's roll over. I'm gonna finish up the game some stuff with the food. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm going to see if there's a way I can edit that out. If I can figure out how to do it, I will. So there's not a lapse in the, a dead space, whatever you want to call it. All right. So Chet Nichols is on, and he will be facing Francona, Asegian, and Kirkland for the Tribe. Luke Clinton is the right fielder, and he will actually lead off in the bottom of the 7th. And I think everything else is set. We put this in my pitcher spot to hold the place for that. Make sure I don't skip over that. All right, so up now is going to be Tito Francona facing Chet Nichols. 3-6 for Francona. That's a single. Single for Francona. Here's a Segian. 5-5, and that's a strikeout for Nichols. First strikeout, one away for Willie Kirkland. 1-9 for Kirkland. That's a home run on a 1-16. And that is gone. A 2-run home run for Willie Kirkland on a 1-16 on a 1-9, 1-16 home run. And he rolls a 15, so that's gone. Kirkland, a 2-run home run. And just like that, it's 4-1 Cleveland. That'll bring up Romano. Nichols getting hit around. Not doing so well. 5-7. That's a double. I mean, he had decent numbers. And looking at his numbers, 1-1 with an ERA of 3 with 3 saves. I thought that was pretty good. 57 innings pitched, 61 hits. I thought all that was pretty good, but he's getting some bad rolls here. Romano with the double. Brings up Woody Held. Woody Held. 6-5, and that's a triple. 1-5, a double 6-20. And that's going to be a triple for Woody Held. How do you like that? A RBI triple from Woody Held. And they may have to make the move right here and pull. They're going to have to pull Nichols. He just can't get anybody out. Nichols is going to go a third of an inning. He's out of there. A third of an inning. And he gives up one. He gave up the cycle. He gave a single, home run, double, and a triple, all in the third of an inning. 4 hits. He did get a strikeout for his credit. So far, he's given up 3 runs, but he's responsible for the 4th run as well. So we'll see who the next pitcher, who the next guy for the Red Sox might be that they might want to bring in. And I guess it's never too late to bring in Arnold early. So you're going to bring in early. Arnold early. Of course, the Red Sox will bring the infield in as Bubba Phillips steps to the plate. That is a 1-5, and that is a fly ball center field B. It will be a sacrifice fly to center. Another run is in. 4 runs are in, and we can close the book now on Nichols, thank goodness. It's now 6-1 Cleveland. And Jerry Kindle's up with 2 outs and the base is cleared. 5-8, and that's going to be a single 1-11. 12-20 on a line out to second base. That's a line out to second base to finally end the inning. But a 4-score Abraham Lincoln inning. We go to the 7th inning stretch. It is Cleveland well out in front, 6-1. Donovan back out. He'll face he'll face Lou Clinton, who came in on the double switch, and then the top of the order. So Lou Clinton getting his first at bat, 294 hitter, 18 home runs on the season. That's a 3-8 for Clinton, and that's going to be a solid single, leadoff single for Clinton. Down 6-1, even if you could run, they're not going to steal, or not going to attempt it, I should say. Here's Pete Runnels. 5-7. Ground ball, second base, X. Second base is Kendall. Second base is Kendall. And Kendall is a 2. So we're in the second column. And a 2. 2 and a 2 is a single, 1 star. Guess the game is never over at Fenway, so they say. Although we're not using ballpark effects. But first and second, with nobody out for Chuck Schilling. 111 for Schilling. He's going to ground it to second fielder's choice, 4-6 to get the force at second. Going to third is Clinton. And out at second base is Runnels on the force. Schilling's at first. Runners at the corners, 1 out for Geiger. I tell you, if Geiger can get a base hit and then Yastrzemski gets a home run, they're right back in the game. This Geiger, 5-8. That's a line out right to third base. He lined it hard, but hit it right to Bubba Phillips. Now Yastrzemski, even if he goes deep now, all of a sudden you get 3 others runs back and it's 6-4 and you're right back in the game. But it's going to take something out of the ordinary from Yaz. 6-9, and he flies to center, so that ends that. Nothing doing for the Red Sox. We go to the top of the 8th. Donovan's going to stay in there. No reason not to. He's got a fatigue of 9 in the advance, so he definitely is capable of pitching complete games. He is going to lead off as using pitcher hitting card number 6. That is a 5-7, and that's a double 1-12, single 13-20. That is a double for the pitcher. How about that? Donovan with a leadoff double. Off the pitcher card. Here's Ty Klein. 4-4. Catcher card X. Nixon's a 4, which could cause problems. 4-10. 4-10 is safe at first on an air dribbler. So E2, one base error. That moves Donovan to third base. Runners on the corners, nobody out. For Tito Francona, infield's in, they have to be. That's a 4-4. Another catcher's X, not exactly what they wanted. In that 4 category again. 4-19. Says wild pitch followed by foul out, so it will be a wild pitch to bring home a run. The wild pitch will produce the run. It will also move Klein to second, but then there's a foul out to the catcher, so that they get an out, but the run scores. It's now 7-1 in favor of Cleveland. 7 unanswered runs in less than 3 innings. Here's Chuck Asegian. 5-4. That's a ground ball second base X. We are looking at the second baseman, Schilling, and he is a 2. 2 and a 2. It's going to be a single. Well, it's getting bad breaks on the D20. Single 1 star. It's going to put the runner at third base. Runners on the corners. Still only 1 out for Willie Kirkland. Infield. They're with 1 out. They're going to play for the double play. 4-7, and they get a strikeout. So I guess not the double play, but they get a strikeout nonetheless. 2 down for Romano. Clutch situation for Romano. 3-3, and he's going to ground it to second to end the inning. So after all that, they only hold them to, they do hold them to 1 run, but it's now 7-1. So not looking too good for the Red Sox. Due up would be Malzone. Frank Malzone will lead it off. 2 for 3 for Malzone. 4-8. That's a strikeout. That'll bring up Russ Nixon. Then the pitcher spot is on deck, so they will pinch hit for early, obviously. So Russ Nixon. That's a 2-12, and that's a line out to second. 2 down, and now we need a pinch hitter for the pitcher early. Early is going to go an inning and 2/3. And he's going to give up 1 run, which was earned. Or was it earned? Let's see. E2. I don't think it was earned. Actually, no, I think the wild pitch makes it earned. I think the wild pitch makes it earned because even if that play is made and he stayed at second, the single would put him to third. The wild pitch would score him. So I'm going to call it earned. You may disagree with that, but I'm going to call it earned. Not that it matters in this case. 2 hits he gave up. And let's see about walks and strikeouts. He didn't walk anybody, struck out 1. All right. So we need a pinch hitter for the Red Sox. Who wants to be the brave soul to pinch hit? And they will turn. Who do they have on the bench that's any good? Best guy that I can see on the bench is Jim Pagliarone. He is a .258 hitter, so we'll use Pagliarone to pinch hit. He's pinch hitting here in the 8th is Pagliarone. He will pinch hit for the pitcher early. 2-9, and that is a single. So Pagliarone gets a base hit. Now that sends up Brousseau with Clinton on deck. 6-9, it flies at the center, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Red Sox. They got the run in the first, and they had Donovan on the ropes early, but couldn't put him away. And he has rebounded to looking like he's going to pitch a complete game. So now we're going to the Red Sox bullpen to see who wants to come out and take the enviable task of pitching this last little bit. And they'll go with Hal Kallstad. And if you're like me, I'm saying who? So Kallstad will pitch. So he'll pitch the 9th inning. Mop-up duty all the way. And he'll be facing shortstop Woody Held. Woody Held. .28 for Held, struck him out. So unfortunately, some of these basic Sunday games aren't exactly the closest games in the world, but you don't know that with the dice. Never know what the dice are going to provide. Here's Bubba Phillips. 5-2. That's a fly ball to center. But it's not about the score. It's about just the activity of playing basic for those that like to see basic. There's Jerry Kindle. 2-9 for Kindle. He strikes out to end the inning. So good inning for Holstad. He goes 1 inning, doesn't give up anything, strikes out 2 for Kolstad. So Cleveland, 7 runs, and they do it on 9 hits. And now Donovan going out for the complete game. And he'll be facing Lou Clinton to lead off the bottom of the 9th. Lou Clinton. That's a 2-10 for Clinton, and he strikes out. Clinton out on strikes. Let's see, I've lost my count on strikeouts here. 3, 4, 5. That's his 5th strikeout. Back to the top of the order, and Pete Runnels. Pete Runnels. Fix this a little bit here, hopefully. There we go. Pete Runnels. 6'8", and that's going to be a pop out to first base. And now Donovan 1 out away from a complete game victory. Schilling, the only thing standing in his way is Chuck Schilling. 4-10, and that's a line out to first base, and that'll do it. An impressive performance by Dick Donovan, complete game victory, as he takes care of the Red Sox 7-1. Red Sox muster, let's see how many hits they muster. 1, 2, 3. They got 3 hits in the first inning. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like he scatters 9 hits. the 1 run, which was earned. And let's check walks and strikeouts. He walked 1 here. I don't see any other walks. I think just the 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. Errors in the game. Cleveland committed 1 error here. And did they commit a second error, or was that it? I think that was the only error was on Donovan himself. Boston, as far as their errors go, thought there was an error somewhere. There's an error on the catcher, error on Nixon. So each team looks like they committed 1 error. So 7 runs, 9 hits, and an error for Cleveland. 1 run, 9 hits, and 1 error for Boston. The winning pitcher is Donovan. The loser is Schwal. Player of the game, I guess we'll give it to Donovan for this complete game. I'm trying to see if anybody on Cleveland had a really outstanding performance. We had held a triple and a single and a walk. So he's, a candidate there maybe. But I'm kind of liking the guy that pitched a complete game myself. So we'll give the player of the game to Dick Donovan. And that is the advanced side of his card, Dick Donovan. And that is the basic side of his card. He was 20-10 with a 3.59 ERA. So you can see why he's a 20-game winner. He pitched pretty well for the Tribe. And that'll do it for Sunday Basic Sunday. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Basic. Until next Sunday for another edition of Strat-O-Matic Basic. And I think I'm trying to remember what the game is supposed to be, and I can't remember off the top of my head what next week is going to be. I think I'm going back to the National League, though. So 1 second while I pull this up. And I will try to edit out that about 5 minutes of downtime if I can figure out how to edit the video without screwing it up. With my lack of technology, that might be dangerous. I could end up deleting the whole thing. But hopefully not. All right, let's see what we got here. Looks like we're going to have going to Pittsburgh, it looks like. The Philadelphia Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates from Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. For the Pirates, it'll be Bob Friend. And for the Phillies, it'll be Jim Owens, whoever the heck Jim Owens is. Jim Owens was 2-4 with a 6.33 ERA, so not very impressive. Bob Friend in 62 checks in at 18-14 with a 3.06 ERA. So next week, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia from Forbes Field in the Sunday Basic Sunday presentation. So hope you enjoyed that Strat-O-Matic Basic for those who like the basic game. And until next time, Strat on. Enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. I'll see you all down the road.